Hello and welcome. This is Anderwood, and we're going to be doing some more RPG notes and share my opinions out there for everyone that is true to the game. We're going to be discussing evil player characters. Okay, first of all, for anyone that has been watching my videos, it may come as no surprise that I like evil characters. I like evil NPCs. I like evil PCs, and when I say that, I'm not talking about playing villains, playing maddened, ravening fools, going in and burning a village down and hitting everyone over the head as they come out, fleeing for their lives and raping them and stealing everything they have. This isn't what you play as a player character. Your character needs to be painted in at least a vaguely heroic light. The anti-hero can be a wonderful character to play. Now, as an evil aligned character, let's give you some examples. You can look at Dexter. Dexter is lawful evil from the TV show Dexter. C. Thomas Howell's character. Great character, a lot of depth, but he murders people, and that can create a very interesting idea. Really, if we really want to look at it and go through it from a moral standpoint, D&D is really created for evil characters. It is not created for good aligned characters. They don't fit in. D&D, in the way it's actually created and run, you go through in the initial beginning of the game. You go through room after room in dungeons, slaughtering anything that doesn't look like you, under the loose premise of stealing everything it has. That's what the game started as. Those were not good players. Those were not good actions. Killing people just because they look different than you to steal everything they have is evil. And evil players make great Dungeons & Dragons characters. Now, here's some things you got to do. If you're going to play an evil character, and I play a lot of them, I'm playing 2 games right now. One of the characters is evil. The other character is eventually probably going to be evil. Neutral evil is my favorite alignment. I really enjoy the alignment. I think it has a lot of intricacy to it. I do not, however, like chaotic evil. I think it is a poor player alignment, the worst of the 9. And I definitely think that that's really more for the madmen out there. But you'll look at some of those, like I said, Dexter, Rastalin from the Dragonlance. That's a neutral evil character right there, and quite compelling, in his story. As an evil character, you do not want to steal from the party. Wait till someone who out of game you don't like goes to sleep and pick a rock up and bash them over the head, killing their characters. Unfortunately, a lot of game masters are very reticent about allowing someone to play an evil character because in high school, they've seen all kinds of ridiculous shenanigans and people essentially just wanting to play evil characters so they can have an out whenever anyone annoys them or challenges their power in-game, that they can pathetically attempt to salvage their ego by stabbing them in the back because they are a neutral evil rogue. Now, this isn't the kind of person that you should have playing in your game to begin with, let alone allowed to play an evil alignment. Be careful, be discreet as to who you allow to play an evil character, but the depths of interest you can achieve with an anti-hero, to me, are far more so than you can with a good aligned character. And quite honestly, a lot of the good aligned stuff is kind of hackney and done to death. It's extremely cliche. In games, played an anti-paladin of Asmodeus, and there was a very interesting, rewarding character in the way I played him. He basically functioned the same way as another paladin, except he did things to the souls of people once he had killed them, and he only killed evil people because he was looking for souls to bring to hell. A hunter of evil souls, someone that would put them in a bowl and then bring them to his demonic overlords, or excuse me, his devil overlords, and make his various different bargains. It was a very interesting and intricate character, and even in 15 minutes I couldn't really get into describing Catatapathe, a Silverthorn, to you, but he worked amazingly well with the party. There were other people in there that were in this game. There were some that were rough to play with, but this character and the other main, as I would look at it, main character, was chaotic good. And the characters got along beautifully because there was that level of respect there. And at one time in the game, I looked at him, a scary face that I could do. My best attempt at that anyway. And I said, "You're a good man." And I see very few good men. I look into people's souls all the time, and I judge them and I evaluate them. And your lordship, are a good man, and I appreciate that. And there are so few of you out there. But if you ever become anything less than a good man, you and I will be spending a lot of time together, and we will get to know each other very well. And he sold for me. There's a video on that below. I did something like that, and the guy Alan sold and put that over, because my character was, as you might imagine, scary as hell. And he brought that in, and we had a really, really wonderful scene there. But when you delve into the depths of the evil character, not as, again, for the idea of just killing other players. I don't like PvP. It creates problems. People get pissy and pissed off and feelings hurt. And you're taking away something that, regardless of even if you have any respect for them as a gamer or as a human being, they invested some degree of time in to craft their character, and to just take it away from them, that's really not cool. To hoard all the magic items. I didn't steal anything. I just made sure I got all the best treasure and put it on me. You're definitely making yourself less welcome in a game when you're the kind of player that does that. And I've seen players do that, and most people watching this video that have played for a long time at least, maybe not the newer gamers, but the old hats are going to have seen that guy that has the identify spell just so he can cherry pick all the good stuff for him and elevate himself to a higher status than anyone else. And that's not cool either. And you can devise an evil character that doesn't do any of these things. A character in a game I'm playing right now, Asteria Aether, is a rogue assassin who utterly adores, respects, and loves everyone that he's formed relationships with. Has tremendous bonds to most of the other player characters, the ones that have been in the game for a while, and we just add some new people. And for NPCs that have been developed, tremendous bonds to these players. But he is a sociopath. He has absolutely no problem with killing anyone. That just doesn't, unless your life has meaning to him, your life has no meaning to him. And if you're standing in the way of him getting what he wants, he would have absolutely no problem in killing you. He would never think to steal from his friends or in any way harm them. And as far as to the other players, I mean, he's as babyface as they go. I mean, completely like a neutral good character in that regard. He just has no desire not to kill anyone else that is causing him a problem. And now that character works out just fine in a game because he's not causing a problem. And that's really what I want to get over in the video. If you're going to play evil, don't be a problem. Don't be an asshole. Don't make the game master go, God, I wish I hadn't let him play an evil character. Because evil characters are cool. They have a lot of potential. There's a lot of depth and intricacy that you can get to in playing an evil person, and particularly if you yourself do not have an alignment that is similar to evil. Looking at the world through a completely different lens can be, even a cracked lens perhaps, can be very interesting, and really what I like to do in the role-playing game. I always compare the making of a character to sort of like making a paper mache tapestry, draping it over your eyes and then jumping into someone else's brain. You're looking around in the world that they've created through a new pair of eyes that you have made, and it's really an interesting experience. And particularly if you make a character that is substantially different from who you yourself are, and I think that is of extreme value. So, as a game master, my advice is don't rule out the idea of evil characters, maybe chaotic evil. They can be a little problem sometimes, but make sure the player wants to play a hero, not a villain. It's not evil or good. It's heroic and villainous that's the problem. Evil does not mean villain. You can play a great anti-hero that is just as evil as he could be and works in a function sometimes better than the good aligned characters in your party, because if they are created with enough intricacies and they have enough reasons, and as an evil character you should probably come up with a reason that makes it easier for your game master to move your character along so that you're not pushed out in the cold when it's just a quest designed for, well, the only reason you would do this is because you're good and you want to save the starving children on the street, and your character really could care less. Develop another reason where he can come in over here. There's whatever the game master wants to get over. There's so many ways and roads you can come to that. They don't have to be drawn from the same point. But just remember, if you want to play an evil character, don't play like an asshole.